Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be giving an update on SPAQ, Spartan Energy Acquisition Group. So I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, and what I think about the stock in the future. I'm going to dive through everything I can. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, leave notifications on, and if you have any suggestions, make sure you mention it down in the comments below. So at any point, if I'm going through the technical analysis and you feel you're missing out on the technical indicators, you'll find it in the playlist. And you can watch my previous video in the description below. Let's jump right into it. On the 1 week perspective, what we get to see here is an MACD that is actually attempting a negative reversal. Last time it attempted a negative reversal, it bounced right back on and continued on towards a positive trend. Now volumes here have been decreasing, and that's usually a little bit of a warning sign. And we get to see that, well, it did decrease from, well, a massive jump to a massive drop, but nothing significant is happening here other than another decrease. Really say what's happening because of the unbalanced volume shows an inflow and outflow coming into almost the same volume. ADX shows in a very strong trend that kind of got stopped and is more going on towards a negative reversal. Now we do need this one to stabilize around 50, so you do expect for it to drop maximum to around 1271, and then it can easily bounce back because it's just above the trading action zone. Moving averages here do look bullish. William %R is oversold, and momentum is actually crawling back up from where it was on the negative, so that is a good sign. On the 1 day perspective, we get to look into a bit of a different news here, a different perspective. Volume is actually picking up. That is an amazing sign. MACD it looks like it's actually attempting a reversal. However, ADX shows in a sloppy move. William %R is oversold, so that's good, but momentum here looks like it's sloppy. It went positive momentum and then kind of drawn back all the way towards negative 0.45 on the momentum. That is a bearish sign. Moving averages are struggling because they went from bearish to bullish to bearish again. That is a dangerous sign. It actually just closed in below the 50 SMA, so that makes it one more bearish down. Still above the 200 SMA, but it needs something, perhaps a bullish kicker to recover it. Right now, this is a bearish kicker, and that's a dangerous sign. Even though it opened up higher because of the news, it went from, I believe, 1421 all the way to 1498 and then dipped back. So let's take a look into a 1 hour perspective to determine what's going on. It jumped from yesterday, 1417 to 1520 in opening, and then just continued to crash. Moving averages went bearish, bullish, bearish. ADX shows in a possibility for trend form. William %R puts this one overbought. Momentum is a little bit sloppy, and MACD looks like it might actually attempt a positive reversal into the morning. So that's just for the next few hours. Nothing very much significant towards its entire price in terms of like weekly for it. Moving average band, the bottom is 1302, middle is 1447, and the top is 1590. I do have good news here because you get to see, well, first of all, the stochastic is a little bit curving down. Still needed to stabilize, so that's a little bit of a warning sign that might continue a pullback. But the really good news here is if you can see, this is the channel that I drew. I believe I talked about it around here. That's probably going to drop back, and it did. And I think I talked about it back here, and I said if it doesn't break the 1570, then you might consider selling because it's perhaps going down to the bottom of the band. And it is. It's right now sitting right on the bottom of the band. I did not have to adjust this band in this channel, which is amazing. Now the question is it gonna pop back up? So previously it really maintained this channel for all the way back towards June, and it would be a huge anomaly for it to drop beyond there. But let's say below the channel, let's say 1332, if it does drop below there, that is a major sign that the channel broke down, and it still would need to correct itself before it starts a new trend. But from the time being, we expect it to bounce back all the way up to the 16, 18, or at least to the top of the channel, as we get to see here. It's still an uptrend, so that uptrend is not broken yet, but it's getting a little bit into an accumulation zone. Now coming on towards Fibonacci resistances. Current support is at 1255. It's quite below from where it is right now at $14. Current resistance on the Fibonacci retracement is 1428. Following that, 1560. Now let's take a quick look into supports and resistances to try to determine, well, where they actually sit down on. So price line, 1378 is current support, a very strong one. 1347. Below here, I'll probably be putting a bit of my stop limit. And then going down, 1299, right onto here, 1299, or $13. And then below there, we're looking at 1251, 1208, and the one that I think will probably not recover from if it drops below 1156. Now, resistances, you see a resistance currently sitting at, let's say, the 1404. That's a significant. 1426. Above that, 1441. Then we're head all the way up to 1477. 1496. 1532. And all the way up to 1572. So let's take a quick look into news, right? What happened to the stock? What's the latest news? Just yesterday, in the morning, Fisker announced they established a new global headquarters in LA. And that is quite significant because the mentioning of it is that by 2022, I believe Q4, the production will start for the Fisker Ocean using the platform of Magna. That is quite significant because we have a date for the start of production. Now, the Fisker is planning to portfolio expansion to a 4-vehicle range by 2025. And that is kind of exciting. Start seeing plans for it to kind of move on and jump on towards the street. Fisker ties up with Magna to build up its electrical ocean SUV. And this is quite of a good news. Even Magna's taken now 6% equity stake in Fisker, and they basically agreed to manufacture using their own Magna's EV architecture and platform. And why is that important? Now, this came out, I believe, today, this morning at 9 a.m. The stock rallied up to 1520 and then subsequently went from green to red. So, what is the news coming in around here? Well, first things first, buy the rumor, sell the news. You hear a lot more often, and it doesn't make sense, right? Because this has still catalyst, has merging. So why are people selling? It's kind of a phenomenon that happens where, alright, I'm buying the rumor, maybe, you know, whatever it is, and as soon as it comes out, I expect that people will sell, and so everyone as sheep start to sell and stop limit, and it becomes a really annoying perspective. Now, the other thing is, a lot of people were talking, well, maybe they will have Volkswagen's platform. Well, Volkswagen or Magna's, a lot of people don't realize what Magna is. And I did look into this company, I believe a month and a half ago, because I'm buying, just closing on a new house, and right in front of it is Magna's headquarters. So I already have a bit of experience. Well, they have a really massive headquarters right in front of my house, but they basically create high voltage e-drives, and they have different products and systems: body structure, chassis structures, exterior system and modules, everything from trim, active aerodynamics, energy storage system, seat complete, foam trim, transmissions, all-wheel forward system. And so they do have quite a bit of an extensive list of things they work on. So for me, that is good news, right? And some of the things they're working on as well, I believe Toyota as well works on it. I did see their logo before in Toyota's showrooms, and other ones. So here the composite space frame looks like to be a Toyota vehicle, and they do have here on their website customers. They go all the way down. We get to see they have different tiers for it, right? So they do have the OEMs, tier 1s, medium and heavy trucks, and the non-automotive. So let's take a quick look. Aston Martin, BMW, BYD, Ford, Chery, Suzuki, Beijing Automobile Works. Also some names I can recognize. Ford Motors again. Ford and Ford Motors are a little bit two different entities. General Motors. What else? Toyota's right here. Volkswagen, Volvo. A bit more other ones. Again, Suzuki here. That's different than Schengen Suzuki. Suzuki's put it on there twice. I think that's a mistake. Mitsubishi, Mazda, Hyundai, Honda. Basically every big name that we think of. Perhaps except Mercedes. I don't know what else I'm missing. Well, Tesla, of course, they have their own platform. And that's one of the big things on. But when you were talking about, well, maybe Volkswagen, turns out Volkswagen is a customer for this company here, so they're going on through a different route. But it's still exciting. 58 OEM products be supplied. Now, another thing here is you can go around and check in Magna's products, but it looks like they actually are trusted with a lot of different companies. Now, taking a quick look into institutional buyers for SPAQ. What we get to see here is an increase. Simplex Trading added 58,000 shares yesterday. F&I Investment Advisors did decrease their position, but it looks like the trend is adding more shares, and you get to see perhaps, I think the net is almost zero, just because Finney Investment had a large group, but I mean probably cashing out from lower. I mean average price there $12.57, averaging out around, probably sold around $14, so that's still profit for them. Another thing to consider here is their merger, right? What do we know so far about the merger? Now, we know that they're actually working with Magna now on their price of $37,500 for the SPAQ model. Now, I believe there is a tweet that I did pull out for Fiskars. They actually did put it in the filings. I'll show you that in a second, but just remember the meeting is happening on October 28th, and that's where we know if there's a vote for the merger goes on or not. So make sure to vote if you're holding in, or if you did receive a proxy. The vote is expected to be yes, but again, that might be buy the rumors, sell the news on October 28th. But I do expect for it to rally closer to there. There's a lot different posts that they put on relating to that. October 28th, October 28th. Okay. Now coming in to compare Fiskars product, 500 320 mile range. I would say with Tesla's Model Y here. I chose the long range model since the performance one is more expensive. This one goes around 510 kilometer, so it's around, say, 60-70% more in terms of range. The other one goes 320, this one goes 510, so the difference out there is around 60% extra. But the cost here could be justified. I do imagine that with different models they might have a long range option. They'll probably go around for 45,000. Still quite cheaper, especially with the model that they're coming out with, recycled, sustainable materials. So that's exciting. Make sure to drop them a follow, Hendrik Fisker, if you're looking more about SPAQs and Fiskar's product. And after that, make sure to follow me. So now let's try to wrap this up all together. What we do have in Catalyst is, well, we did hit a few catalysts, who the partner is, and that's amazing. Now coming into the words, the question is, what's the next catalyst? Is the vote? We might get another buy the rumor, sell the news. But I do expect that it will recover sometime, I would say, in the second half of Friday or coming in towards Monday. And then coming in closer towards the vote, October 28th, which is not next week, it's the week after. We might expect for it to rally up towards the meeting and then significantly drop after they do say, you know, the merger passed. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I hate it, and I know. But in the long term, this one does sound exciting, but you want to make sure that the pumping and the trading has gone out, right? You want to make sure that it's not going to have pumps and dumps in here and there. You want to make sure it stabilizes, it finds a bottom, and you jump on it. Right now, it's considered a bit more of a safe bet because it's on the bottom of the channel. Hasn't broken the channel before. I mean, this one you might consider it breaking the channel, but it was on a massive drop from the top towards the bottom. Sometimes it doesn't find the bottom right away. So for me, in my books, it's worth the risk. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.